Hey listeners, quick question. Are you running your business calls through your personal cell phone? You deserve better. That's why you need Ringtree, the ultimate pro business phone system. With features like custom greetings, call routing, and even an AI virtual receptionist. Ringtree makes it easy to sound professional without any messy hardware or setup. Right now, Sapient listeners get 25% off their first month with promo code Sapient at ringtree.io. That's ringtree.io, promo code Sapient. Let's get back to the show.
Namaste and welcome back to another episode of the Sapient. Today we have probably the biggest episode of my podcast or our podcast, and today we are going to talk about a lot of things which are related to Ayurveda, which is the alternative medicine or a stream of medicine if you don't know what it is. And we have Dr. Poonam on the left side. I don't know why I'm introducing it like a boxing match, but she is our Ayurvedic expert. And on the right side, we have Dr. Swadeep, who is a very well known and very, very well educated and very well informed doctor. So Dr. Swadeep will help us understand Western medicine, but while also talking about Ayurveda and giving us an outsider perspective on Ayurveda. So welcome both of you. Please introduce yourself and yeah, let's roll.
Thank you. Thank you, Ganesh. I am Dr. Swadeep Srivastava. I am not a modern medicine doctor, just to clarify, but I am a doctorate in health education, public health education, as well as sort of lot of work in community health, what I have done. And I would definitely come with a very balanced perspective, not being biased towards modern medicine or Ayurveda, which I hope Dr. Poonam would be more biased towards Ayurveda because she practices that, but that's fine. But that's fine. So, and plus, I'll come with a lot of my own experience of dealing with more than 5,000 patients and families, and wherein they come with a lot of such queries, such questions, such doubts, such aberrations, which a lot of your viewers would also be going through. So, I think your viewers would like to listen to those experiences. My journey has been for more than 25 years into health education, health communication, and probably when I have been one of the pioneers, I started my career with Indraprastha Apollo Hospital, introduced that whole concept in India, in Delhi, and it became a very successful, one of the largest corporate hospital in the world. And from there, I started interacting with a lot of doctors, mostly initially with modern medicine doctors, and learned a lot of insight into various specialties of medicine, the patient's journey, the patient challenges, and that's how I my whole company evolved. My first company, which I sold to an American conglomerate via Media Health, and then my Yale group, which is created on the premise of that there's a big gap of health education and specialist health writers and health educators. So we went to the health writers community of India, health media community of India. We created a group called Health Essayists and Authors League, HEAL. That's how HEAL was created. And that became a HEAL Foundation. And is now one of the largest health education awareness platform where almost more than 1,000 top health experts from modern medicine, Ayurveda have come. About more than 1,000 health journalists have been trained. So with this background, I'll definitely like to take this conversation ahead and also at times go head on with Dr. Poonam in putting in my perspective.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, Dr. Srivastava. I'm Dr. Poonam Virenikar. I'm based in Goa. I'm an Ayurveda Panchakarma holistic physician as well as a wellness educator. I have been practicing Ayurveda for the past 15 years, and it's been a bit of, I would say, a journey uphill, I would say, because a lot of various, challenges faced. But at the same time, being in Goa has been a boon, I would say, because here the patient or the clients, I would say, I wouldn't say patients, but I would rather say clients who are coming to Goa, maybe for tourist or, tourism purpose, but at the same time, they are open to, experiencing, different healing modalities. Why I'm saying healing modalities? Because Goa has become a hub for various, healing modalities. Be it could be modern science or Ayurveda, or you come to Goa, you have n number of healing modality centers. Be it could be yoga, meditation, aura, chakra, you name it and you have it. Because people are, want to know a lot about these. And luckily, Goa has been, a place where it can cater to these people. Now, at the same time, I would want to tell one thing. Ayurveda, everybody keeps saying Ayurveda as an alternative medicine, but I would beg to differ because it is not an alternative medicine, but it is a traditional medicine. Unfortunately, because lot of patients come later trying all other healing modalities, they come to Ayurveda at the end. So it has been labeled as alternative medicine. Unfortunately, that is not the case because when you see Ayurveda as a science, it is the word itself says science of life. Now, when I talk about science of life, it is giving enriched knowledge wherein it works not only as a treatment aspect but also as a preventive aspect, which is the need of the hour at the present scenario because we are facing a lot of health related issues. Anyway, I mean, like, later on we will be talking a lot about that. I'll be telling how it
Yeah.
is more beneficial, but yes, so let's hopefully after this podcast a lot of people are aware about the enriching knowledge of Ayurveda or the principles of Ayurveda or how Ayurveda, when you implement in your day-to-day life, will have long-lasting benefits in terms of health. Yeah.
So, to begin with, for somebody who doesn't know anything about Ayurveda, right? So, like in very layman terms, how would you describe or define Ayurveda?
So basically, just a short thing. Ayurveda is not, some blind belief. It has an amazing scientific logic behind each and every principles explained in Ayurveda. Be it could be a simple in terms of diet related, be in terms of daily regimen related, which we call it as, Ritucharya or seasonal regimen or dinacharya or a daily regimen. It has a very beautiful scientific logic behind it, which unfortunately, some of us are unable to relay it to the common man because when we say Ayurveda, this as it is a traditional medicine, which is having a written record of up to 5,000 years, but we have written records of up to 5,000 years, but it has been existing way beyond 5,000 years. Only thing is, it was passed on through verbal, recitation in the form of Gurukul, where collective people were, passed on with this knowledge. Only since 5,000 years it has been in the written records. Now, if at all you see, Ayurveda has been written or it has been documented after going through rigorous trial and error methodologies. Only after that, which have been proven, tested and proven after various preclinical or clinical in those days, it has been proven in terms of effectiveness, in terms of how it works, mechanism, everything. After observing this, it has been documented. This is relatable because the same science or the same principles have been followed till date and even further because it is very simple logic which has been explained and which has been implemented. This is for Ayurveda. Now, coming to basic principles of Ayurveda or on what basis Ayurveda works, basically Ayurveda says that, Ayurveda has a lot of principles, of course, but it works, the core principle is basically the Pancha Mahabhuta. There is five elements, as we say. So each and everything is made up of five elements. So anything, whether it is living or non-living, is made up of Pancha Mahabhuta or the five elements, which in different permutation and combination. The only differentiating factor between the living and non-living is the consciousness or the chetana, as we say. Now, Ayurveda believes that everything has a natural mechanism or a natural how I would say a natural general layout in terms of the body structure, in terms of the functioning of the tissues, the organs, everything. So all this is basically on terms of Panchamahabhutas and Tridoshas, which we call it as the humors or biokinetic forces which govern the body. Not only the body, I would say, but each and everything, the climate, the movement, the environment around us, everything is governed by these Panchamahabhutas, which are again helpful in creating these three doshas, which are Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Now, these are, of course, they are not visible, but their effects are visible. If at all they are in a balanced form in that individual, in that person, in a particular person, then the person is healthy. When they are imbalanced, the person is unhealthy, and that is you can see through the symptoms. If at all I want to give you an
Got it.
example or an analogy, it is nothing. I mean, like for example, protons, neutrons, and electrons. All these are, even though micro cells, we are not able to see them, but we are able to know the effect or how the effect. Basically, based on those effects, we know, okay, they are present. In the same way, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, even though you can't see them, you can just know them based on their functions, based on their characteristics. When we talk about Vata,
Got it. So, I think it's getting pretty complicated. Uh, so yeah, I hope enough people understood what Ayurveda is, right? So, Dr. Swadeep, any
Yeah.
you know,
So I will I'm not that I cannot be that scientific as it's not complicated, but Dr. Poonam is probably more scientific, and
yeah,
that's good. That's what is expected from her. So I would like to take up to simplify it. Just let's take up a simple definition of latest revised definition of health by WHO. WHO says health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. It's more than just the absence of disease. So this, when it came out, I think a decade back, this revised definition. So that is itself, and this is by WHO, which is generally guided by sponsored by, and which is also a mouthpiece of majority of its members who are the originators or practitioner or who practice modern medicine, allopathic medicine, whether it is the most powerful USA or influential countries from where the modern medicine, allopathic medicines, lot of origination, scientific documentation is, whether it is UK or Japan, Germany, any other countries, and of course India also, which is again I would say in because of lot of reasons, and particularly because of the British rule we had gone through, we had also got modernized in the last 150 years. And that's
yeah,
how this modern medicine made its root in India. And as we could never come out of English, similarly, we got engrossed into a practice of modern medicine. So it's like a analogy if you want to take. It's like modern medicine and English. Like since for majority of Indians, it is practice as well as it is beneficial, as well as it becomes at times compulsive also to know English, learn English, speak English, read English. Same is what is modern medicine, allopathic practices, which is for the good. We have been benefiting of modern medicine for more than a century, and that benefits are there. There's no doubt about it. So when you talk about this definition, so what does this health include? Like physical health is eating a balanced diet, exercising and getting enough sleep. Mental health is having a positive self-image, using healthy coping mechanism and maintaining a positive outlook. Social health is connecting with others, caring for others, and participating in activities that give purpose. And spiritual health is having a sense of fulfillment, self-confidence, and self-esteem. So if you look at this whole definition and so you from everywhere you see Ayurveda coming out. Ayurveda is speaking, showing its color, showing its presence. So this clearly means, and which is because it's all about narrative, like how the word is governed by the narratives and the perception. Like of late in last 10 years, probably India has also learned to become a master of narratives and perceptions.
Yeah. We are learning it slowly.
Learning it slowly and getting closer to that. Yeah. So a lot of issues how India has handled in the last 10 years, it shows that we have understood the importance. And so now this, if you look at this, so it is all about, it's not that so you cannot, first of all, in the whole world, across the world, when WHO says this, WHO also realizes that Ayurveda, and as Dr. Poonam rightly said, it's not alternative, it's a traditional practice of medicine, cannot be removed from the system. And it's not only Ayurveda, the whole Ayush, you see, because Ayurveda is incomplete without yoga. Yeah, yoga, meditation. So these are also a integral part of Ayurveda. So it is just about the whole perception. The narrative has been built in such a way that allopathy, modern medicine, is the modern medicine. That's why it is termed modern. Like everybody likes the word. Today, any new age era person, like even Ganesh, who is much younger to me, I believe, if you say that this is a modern thing, he'll always be inclined towards modern thing.
Yes.
If you
Yep.
say this is a traditional thing, so he'll think twice. Yeah. So it is about the
Definitely.
whole positioning also, the language what we use. So that's why modern medicine became very popular. But if you want to talk about the difference, why this happened and why modern medicine was able to almost sort of push Ayurveda and Ayush back for almost 50 years or even 100 years before independence and after independence, was the reason that what they could do in a very strong way, which these sort of medicines could not do. What were the gaps? So one of the biggest gap was that the way they said that this is a scientific way of writing a paper, doing a study, doing documentation, publishing. So there became a lot of publishers, journals, the researchers, the universities who did a proper research documentation, and these were quite latest, like it was 200, 300, 200-year old, lot of research and studies were referred to. Whereas, what was the gap which was left? Because a traditional medicine like Ayurveda, uh, since it is a few thousand, 5,000-year old or even before that, so the whole documentation was lost in between. That in between, there were no documentation. So that was one of the biggest gap. And then the gap of the language and the narrative. So
Yeah.
English became a narrative language, whether you like it or not. Yeah. So it is a narrative language. Whatever echoes and starts in English is something which is very positively looking. Now a
Yeah.
lot of Hindi narratives are also coming.
Yeah. I
But
mean, the
not other.
fact that, we all are speaking English right now
Yes.
on
That is a
this
fact.
episode,
So
right?
yeah, in this episode. So probably
So,
those
Dr. Swadeep, let me ask you this, right? Do you think Big Pharma also had a role in this in terms of guiding the narration?
see it is so again. So like again, it's a very sensitive point. I'll touch it in a more balanced way. So it is all about all stakeholders. Why only big pharma?
Yeah.
It is about
Mhm.
all stakeholders. Now, big pharma, why you call big? Again, the whole language. You call big
Yeah.
pharma because it is actually big. It is available across the world. It is
Yeah.
a global market. Yeah, you'll be
Yes.
surprised. A lot of Americans, if they are listening and they know about it, that almost 57% of the healthcare market is in US.
Yeah.
Yeah, 57% of the overall pharma is in US. That's America is the biggest healthcare market. 43% is rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can imagine where is India.
Yeah.
So if we spend 1.4% of our GDP and America has spent 6.5% of the GDP, so where the money is, where the power is. Yeah. So it is not only about pharma. Pharma were making their own spaces. But do you know any such Ayurvedic company which is global? No, there is no such global Ayurvedic. Now companies have started becoming bigger brands. But if you compare the turnover and the revenue or the sales of these companies and the product ranges of these companies is very abysmal, very, very small compared to what single pharma drug would sell. A single antibiotic product or a single vaccine would be would be bigger in size than 10 top Ayurvedic companies combined.
Yeah.
So it's all about economy also. No? The word is driven by the economic power. So it is more of an economy. You cannot blame pharma since pharma. See, what is the challenge with pharma? You have to understand that. And I would say they are quite correct in some ways. Like their point is that if particularly US multinational pharma or global pharma, their point is if I innovate a drug, so I do it through a process, I do a lot of investment. So a new drug or a cancer drug or any drug when it comes for it, or even a vaccine when it comes for
Yeah.
through innovation, so there is more than $1 billion or whatever amount is got invested into doing. This is how they have built this whole system. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm investing $1 billion, so obviously I want returns. So I want to in next 10 years I want to make 4 billion, $5 billion of revenue. So there the whole fight comes that is big pharma is driving it. Whereas what they are doing is they are just they are working for their survival and growth. Yeah. And that's where they immediately they come on the top, very high pedestal when you say that I have invested $1 billion to create this innovation. Yeah. Have you heard of any Ayurvedic medicine wherein Ayurvedic company have said that, okay, I have invested these money, hundreds of crores or tens of crores to do research and innovation of this. So that is one of the difference. And this is not the right way of looking at it because as Dr. Poonam also pointed out that Ayurvedic medicine, these are all traditional, natural sort of remedies. Most of them are natural remedies or the traditional remedies which are being available, and that's the whole art of it. They cannot become costly. They have to be affordable. They have to be come at a price which doesn't which gives a solution, but not and but also is accessible. That's the whole art of Ayurvedic medicines and the therapies and what is being done. So this is one part of it. So you cannot say that big pharma is responsible. It is the whole overall scenario how it is built, and pharma drives it because pharma has the largest market.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of big medical devices have also come, a lot of other things. The other factor, if you look at the whole psychology of mm, modern allopathy and Ayurveda, how it works. So if you look at allopathy is like more about acute management, emergency management, yeah, evidence-based treatment, therapies, there are a lot of surgeries, procedures, yeah. So like I'm doing a project in India where we are trying to set up a preventive health or primary healthcare centers. Yeah. So now when I go into the market and see, so look at the volume, the whole expenditure. Like if you go to the consumers, people and ask for preventive health check. It's such a common thing we have been talking about for more than a decade. That a stitching time saves nine. But people are not ready to spend even 3,000, 5,000 rupees to go for a preventive health check. But when they fall in a hospital with a problem and the hospital says that unless you pay 5 lakh of rupees, will not move ahead with the treatment. If it happens many times, if you're not insured, not covered, private insurance coverage is so less. Now Ayushman Bharat, all these things have come, things will improve. So then from where that 5 lakh come, immediately it comes, immediately it is
Yeah.
deposited in the account. So this is the whole psychology we are fighting, wherein for prevention, we don't have a priority. We will go every month, we'll spend 3,000, 5,000 rupees in a restaurant, eating out, watching a movie. But in a year, we cannot spend 3,000, 5,000 rupees for going forward for a preventive. And that's the whole dichotomy which Ayurveda is also facing. Because Ayurveda is more about prevention, more about natural remedies, more about a way of life. It is about a way of life. It is not something which, because it provides more like a chronic care, more like a balanced lifestyle management. It's more like a lifestyle management. So that is the difference. So you cannot, it is not apple to apple comparison. So you cannot do that comparison in that
Yeah.
straight way. But yes, again, coming to the point, and particularly since your viewers are mostly Americans and Westerners. So look at the Western trend today. What is happening in the Western world? Today, the Western world is talking about two top trends. One is gut health and second is longevity. The- These are the most fashionable trends which are being talked and practiced. There are so many new experts come up who are saying that the core of every problem is gut health and the core of longevity is also gut health. And longevity is the way forward. If you are going to the space and if you are going to Mars and other, so why not live longer. We can live eternally. That's the new concept which has come. We can live eternally. This is what Ayurveda has been talking about for thousands and thousands of years. But the core of everything is your panchkarma, what Dr. Poonam was trying to tell, your whole gut health, from where the whole problem, and the metabolic health, the balance of metabolism is the core of every problem. So I think there again, where we are coming back to is the same core issues which we need to solve. And there, the role of Ayurveda and Ayush has been recognized today across the world. And the worst thing I would say, like even you have examples like Dr. Deepak Chopra and a lot of other Ayurvedic and yoga experts who have become so popular and rich going to the Western world because they are
Yeah.
recognized more. Yeah. But unless Baba Ramdev happened, there was no such example in India because
Yeah.
we
At least
Indians,
there was no global
there was
example, right?
example, yeah,
Yeah.
because we Indians have been putting down Ayurveda and Ayush, not the Westerners. Let me
Yes,
tell you,
yes, yes, yes.
they understand the value of it. So we ourselves are responsible. So it is the Westerners, I would say, I would give credit to them because they have started seeing the benefits of it in some way or the other. They are regular yoga practitioners in the Western world. They are all the supplements which they are coming out, whether they are packaged by their American companies, but most of them are research and the ingredients what they use are mostly all these Ayurvedic remedies, home, what you call home remedies. So again, is again the positioning and the perception. As soon as you call home
Yeah.
remedy, this value goes down. Well,
Yeah,
it is
no, because right now the biggest kind of debate or conversation, even in the US and other Western countries, is the loss of, as you said, home remedies, right? That were like carried by generations, and now it's not there
Yes.
because, as you said, people are not interested in preventive medicine. They are like, okay, here is a hole, fix it, right? They're not willing to build a wall.
Yes.
They're more interested in just fixing short-term issues, right? So, Dr. Poonam, what would you say is like a major difference between Western medicine and Ayurveda, right? Because of course, there are two different medicines.
See, I have seen modern medicine or have worked during our internships. It was a compulsion to work in modern hospitals. So based on my experience and, there's the modern medicine basically, as Dr. Srivastava rightly said, it is more for than acute as well as emergency. So, it works more as a symptomatic. You have some symptoms and immediately to, get those symptoms down, you work on it. So that is how the core principle of modern medicine works. Whereas when we talk about Ayurveda, it basically starts emphasizing or concentrating more on the root cause through which or by which these symptoms have been cleared. Because for one particular health issue, may have n number of symptoms. So you can't keep on treating each symptom, with different medications or with different things. If at all you work on the root cause, these symptoms, maybe more than 70 to 80% of the symptoms will, pacify right when you start work on the root cause. So that is what Ayurveda emphasizes on. That work on the root cause and try to find the root cause. Professors would always keep saying, the moment you find out the root cause, half of your treatment is done. So rest all is just, working out where the things, maybe tweaking their dietary regimen, tweaking their lifestyle, working on their mental health. Because as we know, as WHO have giving a lot of emphasis on mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, all of those things. So when Ayurveda, as it has a comprehensive treatment. Comprehensive, when I talk about comprehensive, it not only works on your specific issue, but also it works on your health as an overall, so that in the future any health issues may not affect you in terms of correcting your diet, in terms of correcting your lifestyle, in terms of making your emotional and as well as your mental health strong enough so that you can cope with the day-to-day life stress or changes, be it could be in your lifestyle, in the environment, in the situations that you face. So this is one of the major, difference between Ayurveda and the modern medicine.
Yeah, Dr. Swadeep, any
Yeah. So
pointers on
I
that?
would definitely like to talk a few bit about what I see from the perspective of what is happening to the people in India, and that may have some messages and some learnings for the people in US and other Western world also, because human beings are all same, whether you are white or a brown. So one of the things which I've been seeing, as I told you, I have been dealt with almost more than 5,000 patients, and whatever problems they come up with, people, the families, their caregivers, whatever problems they come. So one of the things, and most of them have been, I would say 99% of them have been following modern medicine or taking some treatment, gone for diagnostics. See, like for example, diagnostics. Diagnostics, the whole process, scientific diagnostics in terms of the radiology, pathology, the whole scientific is integral part of the modern medicine. It is somehow,
Mhm.
Ayurveda made it so simple that maybe nubs देख के कर देंगे. So उसमें what happens that people are not probably have given that, and that's true also. Like if you have to have a, even Ayurveda such so commonly is using pathology now. Like you
Mhm.
need to know the pathogens and pathology test, and then based on that they are also prescribing. So these are the biggest advantages of allopathy. But yes, what is started happening that because the balance is not there in the community, people have been brainwashed that allopathy and modern medicine is the only solution. This is the only credible solution, scientifically proven. Lot of other narratives which are there coming on a regular basis. So because of that, people have gone into it, not tried a balance, and they have
Mhm.
gone into a lot of problems. Like for example, the biggest problem is the trust on the modern medicine practitioners. So, particularly in very specific cases like cancer cases, even complex heart diseases. Yeah. So, what type of queries we get? We get queries that, okay, went to an oncologist and he
Mhm.
talked about this treatment. He said you have to go through this chemotherapy, radiation, and this new immunotherapy, but it will cost you 5 lakh rupees, 8 lakh rupees. But this is the only solution which you need to go through. So
Yeah.
there immediately 90% of the cases there is a distress. Whether I should go to, okay, can I get a second opinion? Yeah, that's the first
Mhm.
thing. Can I go and show another doctor? Even in Delhi, we
Yeah.
get queries like, can I show to a non-corporate hospital doctor? Can I show to an AIMS doctor? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that shows that there is a distrust on this. Why this distrust is coming? Is
Yeah.
because like I've got my close ones and even people I've got patients I've got involved with cancer patients,
Mhm.
wherein they have gone and they've got all the sort of PET scan done, the treatment done from a medical oncologist, and gone through all the process, whatever they have spent, whatever they have recommended, and they have
Mhm.
spent 5 lakh, 10 lakh of rupees, whether from their pocket or through insurance, what 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, it can go up to any amount in today's date.
Yeah.
They have been asked to use important chemotherapy, immunotherapy solutions. That if you give this immuno, then probably it will elongate the life. But most of them have ended up not benefiting from it at all. That's another problem which modern medicine faces. Wherein you say that okay, I one of my relatives I got this the doctor said okay, get this 3 doses, it will cost or 5 doses, it will cost you 5 lakh of rupees. The children are desperate, they go and buy those 5 doses, and within
Yeah.
15 days that person dies in spite of starting those, or within a month that person dies in spite of starting those.
Mhm.
So of course the uncertainty is there because it is a part of life, it is part of medicine. But this is one of the major things which is taking out trust. That is one thing. I would definitely like to also point on the whole diagnostic mechanism. This has also gone in the wrong direction, particularly in India,
Mhm.
and wherein unnecessarily diagnostics. He was told by a top senior radiologist just few days back of the country that there is a new center which has come, which is doing the whole body CT scan, 16 slide CT scan, whole body CT
Mhm.
scan for every preventive health case which is coming. They are coming for preventive health and he's doing a whole body CT scan.
Yeah.
So type of radiation exposure, you can imagine, yeah,
Yeah.
is something, okay, a 16 slide CT or CT angio is fine when you have a symptom of a heart disease. To that level, heart angio is fine. but you're exposing the whole body. So, and this is
Mhm.
happening in so many ways. Unnecessarily, prescriptions and recommendations are going for all these high-end value tests, and a lot of patient before getting into treatment spends 50 lakhs, 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees just getting the test done. So, these are the negative aspects which are happening in the ecosystem. I am very sure it is. There are a lot of stricter protocols in US, I was told, but they're like, for example, just 2 days back, I came to know about insurance case, 2, 3 doctors who were found in US to give kickbacks and generate diagnostics and
Mhm.
generate and there's a big penalty they are going through. So this can happen anywhere, but this is happening more organized into modern medicine because the stakes are high. The treatment costs are in few lakhs, so the
Yeah.
stakes are high. So that is one is the biggest learning in modern medicine, that though the science is good, but if you follow science in a more balanced way, more sort of patient friendly way, then it works very well.
Let's take a quick break to talk about how you handle your business calls. If you're like most small business owners, you're probably using your personal phone for everything. That's not doing your business any favors. Enter Ringtree, the pro business phone system that gives you a custom number, personalized greetings, call routing, and even an AI virtual receptionist. It's all online, so no clunky hardware or complicated setup. Just sign up, pick your number, and you are ready to roll. And here's the best part: as a Sapient listener, you get 25% off your first month when you use code Sapient at ringtree.io. Again, that's ringtree.io, promo code Sapient. Don't let your business blend into your personal life. Level up with Ringtree today.
Now, I will also like to touch upon the case of what happened, the huge debate which came up, allopathy versus Ayurveda. In the case of Mr. Navjot Singh Sidhu ji and his wife, basically his wife getting treatment for cancer here in India, and it became so viral and became a lot of big debate. So, wherein his wife had undergone all the procedures under the oncologist here, she was 2, 3 years, she did very well. Then at the end, when the oncologist gave up and they said that, okay, now this no therapy will work and leave it to God. So, what Sidhuji says, and he says very clearly in his video, after that, when it was told leave it to God, I would say that before going to God, still try my best. And I
Mhm.
went to a lot of researchers from modern researchers, Lancet researchers, and I found out there are certain Ayurvedic as well as natural remedies as well as nutrition remedies, nutrition therapies, which can help my wife. And I started giving that. It's about almost 6 months. All the parameters have come back to normal. She started doing well. She's leading a healthy life. And he came and did a press conference. Now that became a big issue for all the modern medicine doctors, including Tata Memorial Cancer Hospital, coming out together and showing a rejoinder that this is like fooling our people, how Ayurveda natural remedies can work in cancer. I think this extreme is not good, what is happening in
Yeah.
India. And this should not happen in US also, because you have to know one way you are accepting that gut health is the core problem of everything. One way you want to adopt to longevity, and you
Yeah.
can never achieve the objective of longevity unless you give the desired respectable space
Yeah.
to this form of medicine, which is oldest, most traditional, most well proven, and it should
Yeah.
be given due respect and due space. That is what I would like to say to all the viewers.
Mhm. Yeah. It's almost like, Western medicine expects sun without the heat, right?
Yes,
They want the sun,
but they don't want
but
that.
they're just like, yeah, we don't want the heat, right? So they're like, we like alternative medicines, but not just when it works,
All right, well, right.
right? So, Dr. Poonam, what do you think about? Yeah, sorry.
Just to add to this, what I have seen, I mean, like now, because we were talking about the cancer patients and, this a whole big controversy of Sidhuji's wife and all those stuff. I have few patients and they are from the West. In fact, couple of patients are from the UK
Mhm.
and couple of patients are from the US. They are suffering from fourth grade, a fourth stage cancer. I mean, like they had, it was, this is something of maybe like 2 to 3 years back. wherein two of my patients who were suffering from, one from cervical cancer, the other from breast cancer, which was in the fourth stage. Now, along with the chemotherapy, we did start with Ayurvedic lifestyle recommendations solely based on their Prakriti. Now, Prakriti is basically the body constitution. So, each person, according to Ayurveda, each individual is very unique in nature. Okay. So, their recommendations, their diet, whatever we plan or whatever we, prepare, it has to be customized. That is what Ayurveda says in order to be effective, which is solely for them. So when we worked it, as a complementary, complementing with the modern treatment protocols, the Prakriti related diet, according to their Prakriti, when the diet, lifestyle, yoga routine, pranayama, certain, Varma points. Varma points basically are your, you can correlate them towards the acupressure points in the present scenario. If I want to explain it to, to make it more understanding. We have something called as Varma points, which are basically the energy points on the body. So when we started implementing these along with the chemotherapy, immunotherapy, whatever they were going through, the results were much more, effective in terms of even the chemo or the immunotherapy was much more effective and very minimal side effects. Now, if at all you see, chemotherapy has a lot of side effects. Immunotherapy has a lot of effect on the gut health, especially on the gut health, where the person ends up with a lot of IBS or diarrhea, wherein a lot of weakness, sets in. But with this concept, with with the diet, lifestyle, and all yogas and everything as a comprehensive, what we saw was amazing and drastic improvement. The person who was undergoing immunotherapy did not have any side effect in terms of gut. In fact, her gut was very, very, strong enough, and she was following a proper diet, dinacharya, as we say, the daily routine, the lifestyle, according to her constitution, which itself shows that it works. It works when you implement that, when you follow it dedicatedly. Because we have some patients or some clients, they follow it for a couple of days, 1 month, and then they're like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to, the quick fix kind of, okay, we are done. So, yes, for longevity or for gut health or for very good immunity, these are very basic, simple things which you can incorporate in your day-to-day life, so that is much more beneficial, no matter whatever, whatever science you opt or whatever healing modality you opt. In order for that to be more effective, I would say that yes, I following these basic Ayurvedic principles in your life would be more feasible.
Got it. So yeah, just continue the conversation. So let's move on to the next kind of milestone, of course, in the conversation is the evidence and validation for Ayurveda, right? Because if you look at the evidence and validation, as Dr. Swadeep mentioned earlier, right, there are of course a lot of differences between the streams of medicine. But I see the biggest criticism that Ayurveda faces is the placebo effect, right? Like that's the biggest piece of conversation that we see within this sort of debate or communication whenever it happens. So what's your kind of take on it, Dr. Poonam?
Well, this is quite very, misleading, I would say, because what is placebo? First, before, getting into this topic, placebo is nothing but a, psychological phenomena which leads to the belief that this treatment will have a, improvement in the the physiology of the body. So now when you see each and every science has, each and every science, in fact, is working on the placebo effect. Now, very simple example, I would say, even though it is placebo effect, it has some scientific logic, or you could say some validation. For example, I would say, before going to that, I'll just give you an example. Even though no matter what doctor he is or what, science or healing modality the person is following, the moment we have headaches, very commonly we have headaches, the first line of treatment or first thing what do we do? we start pressing, right? We start pressing our heads, we start, working, giving some pressure on the head. Or the next is we go to, if at all kids, I have a little one. So the moment he has any headache or stomachache, he runs to me and he comes, Mom, I'm having headache. I'm having. So he feels that the moment I touch his head, I press his head or I press his stomach, his pain will go. So that is a placebo effect. But in reality, I'm working on some of the pressure points which releases that pain. So here, if at all you see, the placebo effect is where where the person feels that, okay, going to that person, if the person touches me, then I have the relief. But the scientific validation for this is we are working on those specific points. So here, both the placebo effect as well as the scientific validation or the scientific evidence of that. So this is one part. Now, coming to some of the, scientific studies in terms of placebo effect, if at all I want to tell you about, herbs. For example, if at all you talk about ashwagandha, that is Withania somnifera. So this herb has, in the preclinical, it has been seen that it has a lot of adaptogenic property, which helps in reducing the stress because of the improved cortisol levels. Okay, these are some levels which are stress busters in our body. So now they have this, okay, if you take ashwagandha, it really relaxes. So this is, that belief in the people that, okay, taking this will help them. But if at all you look at the ingredients or the active component of ashwagandha, it shows that it has a lot of, because of the release of the cortisol, improving levels of the cortisol, it has a lot of effect on their anxiety, stress, insomnia. Saying that Ayurveda solely works on placebo would be a wrong statement. Yes, placebo is an part, but it acts as just a complement rather than a substitute for the treatment, because the same thing is visible in almost all the healing modalities. So just, segregating only Ayurveda and saying Ayurveda works solely on placebo would be a wrong statement. Be it even if at all we go for the Abhyanga, that is body massage, or Shirodhara. Now, Shirodhara is, streamline flow of the fluids on the forehead. Okay. So now all these are having that, when you experience it, it is relaxing. So you feel that placebo effect. But in reality, if at all we want to look at the scientific, the fluid which we are using, either it could be in the form of some decoction, herbal decoction, it could be in the form of some herbal formulated oil combination. All this has some, active chemical compounds in them, which when absorbed by the body or by the, cells, which will help in relaxing the nerves or which help in nourishing the nerves. In some or the other way, this active component will help in rectifying those issues or, pacifying those issues. So, yes, placebo effect is there, but I'm not going to deny it. But stating that this is the sole, line of treatment would be a wrong statement.
Got it.
Adding to what Dr. Poonam said, that's a small funny thing I heard from a doctor. So a patient with a light pain and fever called the doctor. The doctor, can I take? I have this problem, and can I take this medicine? Yeah, you can take this medicine. Uh, if you take it, you will get well in 7 days time. If you don't take it, you will get well in a week's time. So, so of course, there are a lot of minor things, and Dr. Poonam would also agree, there are a lot of conditions which come up, which are also very psychological in
Yes.
nature. So you would come across a lot of patients who unnecessarily start complaining about one pain or the other pain or this problem or that problem.
Yeah.
Gastric problem is one of the most commonest of the problem. When you speak to the gastroenterologist, when you go with the gastric patients, even in Ayurveda and with gastroenterologists, so a lot of time I've seen doctors using this placebo effect. Okay, you take this medicine, whereas this gastric problem will go either on its own or by modification in what you eat and how you eat and the way you manage your diet and the food. So mostly it is related to that. So that placebo effect has a role. Modern medicine has very scientifically used it. Placebo, they have more used it in terms of the drug trials, that
Yeah.
where they do a placebo-based
Mhm.
trial, whereas the real medicine. So that way. But yes, having said that, naturally placebo has effect. Placebo use is not only in Ayurveda but in modern medicine also, wherein
Mhm.
doctors have a gut feeling that this
Mhm.
treatment, this guy will get treated on his own or within a week's time. But then, because this guy has come with a problem, so if I don't give him any medicine, he'll feel that he
Mhm.
is not being attended to. So he gives some light medicine, and
Mhm.
the guy gets well. Yeah. So that way you can define placebo effect.
Yeah, I would also
Got
tell
it. Yeah,
one
because
experience.
yeah.
While I was working in a modern hospital, which was a multi-specialty hospital, wherein we had a lot of inpatient, patients getting admitted. So during those days, the main doctor, who was a general physician, she had this special, IV or injection called as DW. This was called word for within our, the staff. So whenever the patient, in spite of giving all the
Mhm.
medication, if at all he keeps complaining about, the pain or, any XYZ thing, so the doctor would say, give this DW, the strongest medicine of all. And the moment the person was given this DW, he was like, yes, this is very effective. This has worked. Now, what was DW? DW was nothing but distilled water. So the distilled water was, only with the distilled water, the person was, the patient would feel, I literally saw that. I was like, what is this? So this itself shows that there are a lot of, half of the symptoms I would say in present scenario is more of a psychological. There are some patients who come to me and then, they tell I have this, I have that, and, they keep on talking for about say half an hour, 1 hour. And after that, oh, now I'm feeling better. Now I don't have any symptoms. So this is more of a psychological. Of course,
Mhm.
I'm not saying everybody will end up with that, you need to, recognize who is suffering from that. Then accordingly, you need to work on that. But yes, that is how,
Mhm.
we can use, of course, placebo in the form of treatment in all the healing modalities.
Yeah. So in fact, I would like to put it in this way: a smart doctor, whether he is Ayurvedic doctor or allopathic doctors, a smart doctor is the one who knows when and how much to use the placebo effect,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
that is has become an integral part of it. So that is how you treat the patient psychologically, and then of course the medicines or the therapies or modalities that work.
Got it. Now coming to like the final part, right, of the conversation, to a regular person, right, who doesn't care about what heals them, but it should heal them, right? So what do you think is a very fair common ground, right, that they should follow in just general life to get the best of both worlds?
Can I start on this? Then probably Dr. Poonam can
Yes,
close,
please.
because I know what Dr. Poonam is going to talk is more about lifestyle management and the natural ways of
Sure,
living.
yeah, please go
And that
ahead.
is the answer. That is the answer. There's no doubt about it. The balance of living, balance of nutrition, lifestyle management, exercising, all those things are there in the textbooks. And people talk more and practice less. That's the problem there.
Yes.
So, so that, but I would like to add one perspective, which I have been working very sincerely for the last 5 years, and I feel there are a lot of therapies, but one therapy which we promote is health information therapy. We call it information therapy. Yeah, this is very important part, which now I see the value coming up. A lot of doctors, we have created a tech platform called Health Presso for doctors, and come forward, and any stream of doctors, and make themselves more capable of giving this information therapy. So it is about
Hmm.
the education. It is about the information on all the options which are available, even in US and everywhere. So the information overload till now is on the modern medicine, that there's a huge information overload, that everywhere anybody talks about is this drug is working, this innovation is happening, this now in last 10 decades, at 1 decade, I would say, I would again repeat, come back and say 10 years, 10 years, because these things have started happening somehow. I don't want to be political, but in last 10 years is something wherein, like for example, a very simple thing was done. This was a positioning. International Yoga
Mhm.
Day. It was a positioning. But you saw
Yeah.
how this whole information and the way it was positioned, it took yoga to the global level. That the New York Square also is doing yoga
Yeah.
every 21st June. So that day
Mhm.
was created a yoga day. So it became so popular. So I think it is for people to understand, for stakeholders, for doctors, and for the scientists, it is important
Mhm.
to say that other than the practice, what they do in terms of their therapy, they should also adopt to giving some time to information therapy, coming out and talking about it, educating about it,
Mhm.
which I believe that Ayurvedic and Ayush experts are very poor in India. I would very straight away, majority of them, I feel they are not, they see the importance of it. They have never come out and spoken about it, talk about it, use various mediums to talk. Today we are doing this podcast. We have a podcast, a beautiful medium, which lot of, I would
Mhm.
like to see a lot of Ayurvedic doctors coming and starting their own podcast to educate people, to inform people.
Yeah.
That should keep happening. But that is one of the very important parts for people. I would say that they should look at information, more information, read more about, more educated they are, more empowered. An educated patient is an empowered patient. And from the credible sources. Now, one thing which has been put on Ayurveda is that, and it's somehow I feel very sad about it, any Ayurvedic thing which comes out is not from credible sources. Any modern medical thing, drug breakthrough comes out is from a credible source. So that itself is a very poor differentiation. It should not happen.
Yeah.
So anything you say, oh, it is from credible source. It's referred to Lancet Journal. It's referred to PubMed. It's referred to WHO. Probably we don't have those large sort of credible institutes. Like for example, one of the biggest mouthpiece of Ayush and yoga and Ayurveda. That's why he was so badly defamed. That is Baba Ramdev, because he
Mhm.
was becoming a credible source. So the world took it up and said that, okay, let's defame and kill this credible source. And they were almost successful. Like today,
Yeah.
they are almost successful. But
Mhm.
this stream, every stream have to have, like, I would say our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, is in fact a bigger credible source for all the Ayurveda, Ayush, and yoga. It is being heard. Today he's talking about simple thing like millets. He's making millets so popular. Which is a part
Yeah.
of, again, a natural balanced diet, or part of Ayurveda food,
Mhm.
this thing. So those things, and it should be balanced in US, in also in the Western world, and Indians there, Americans there. They should not look at only what is being thrown on them, but do their own research and understand the whole, the knowledge which is available. More information they go through, they will be able to become wiser in terms of understanding what works where. Because the end message should be very clear. Both have got their own role. You cannot separate both or say that this is totally bad or this is very good. As I said, modern medicine has become little arrogant. They have been sort of pushing things on the head which they should not be, which is working in not in favor of lot of people, and particularly the patients who are suffering from any disease. It is not working in their favor. There's a lot of sort of drug resistance is happening. There's a lot of miscure, mistreatment, and even deaths happening. Medical errors, deaths are happening in a big way because these things are
Mhm.
being pushed, thrown on people. Yeah. So that is a bad part of it, but they have a really good part of it. There's so many life-saving things in modern medicine which you cannot, Ayurveda or any therapy, any even cannot match. So that, but then if you 100% depend on modern medicine, you'll never be well. If you have to be well, that is wellness, you have to adopt to Ayurveda, natural remedies, home remedies, yoga, meditation, whatever you call it. And that
Mhm.
part also needs to come out from the experts here. My appeal to the experts, particularly in India, because I've seen the guys, Ayurveda, yoga, overall, these spiritual gurus, I see them
Mhm.
more vocal and popular in US and less
Yeah.
in India. Even our Indian gurus are go and start a channel there and speak to them, and they get paid, and they're so happy about
Mhm.
that. But this
Yeah.
should happen from the Indian gurus, Indian experts, Dr. Poonam,
Mhm.
and such excellent people are there who can add
Yeah.
lot of value in building this aspect of and creating a balance, because it is for the society. It's not. I don't run a pharma industry. I don't run a Ayurveda industry, but it is for the people, benefit of the people. that this
Mhm.
balance should come out. That is the way forward. That is the solution. That this balance should come out. And for Ayurvedic practitioners, I would say in India, they should also have balance of where to stop, not to do something. Sometimes I've seen a lot of at the ground level that they get into things of which is not in their control, trying to treat a disease which is not in a way which is not should be done. Yeah. So
Mhm.
those also give a bad name to the practitioners here. So
Yeah.
it should be both. I know a lot of again to reveal you, because I have got almost 3,000 doctor friends. 90% of them are medical allopathic modern medicine doctors. I would say 50% of them follow Ayurveda and for
Yeah.
their own
Mhm.
Ayurveda, yoga, natural remedies. They themselves use it, but
Yeah.
not a single guy comes and talks about it openly.
Yeah. They're very apprehended if they do
So
that.
they won't talk about it. But if you go at their homes, they'll be using in the morning, they will be taking all these home remedies, ashwagandha se lekar ke, everything you'll find in their on their table.
Yes.
They'll be using that. They'll be doing intermittent fasting at night, early
Yeah.
at 7 o'clock. Early dinner is the concept of Ayurveda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which is now being getting popular in the world. So everybody will follow. But when you bring them on camera, they won't talk about it
They
because
won't say that.
they won't. So that my request to this fraternity is also that they should also
Mhm.
come and talk about this in a way that it is a balanced approach. Not that this is the new thing which is, it's not a new thing. You can't, for
Yeah.
Ayurveda, yoga, you cannot never
It's
say that it's
definitely
a new
not a
thing.
new thing.
Yeah.
So it is something
Yeah.
which creates a balance and that should be adopted in the society. This is my message.
Dr. Poonam, what do you think that a regular person, right, should find the balance between Ayurveda and Western medicine?
See, only you know your body the best. Only you know what are your capabilities, what are your, limitations. So, my first and foremost advice to everybody out there is first know your body. First know what works well for you. At the same time, know what you're suffering through, what you're going through, what you can change. And then accordingly approach, the different healing modality, be it could be the modern science or be it could be the Ayurveda. At the same time, understand the science behind that, understand all the mechanism, how it works. Understand, because if you don't ask, you will never know what is actually the concept, how actually it works. Because I mean, like when my patient comes to me, I explain to them how, what has been going through, how it has affected. Because the moment you start explaining, they start realizing where they have gone. Because it's not necessary that everybody will be open to you about each and everything that they are facing, what they have got, what they have done, where they are going wrong. Okay, because no matter how much you ask, there are some people, as Dr. Srivastava said, a lot of people are following that, but they are not openly talking about that, right? In the same way, a lot of people, I mean, like a lot of us are doing a lot of, simple, stupid things, which, this is going to cause a lot of bad effect on you. But even then, you're doing. So when
Mhm.
you start explaining to
Yeah.
them in a simple way how it is working, how it is effective, they start realizing it, and it's like, a light bulb movement kind for them. Oh yes, I know this, what I'm doing wrong, so where I'm going wrong, what is. So when you know that, the same thing applies everywhere. I'm like, because I'm an Ayurvedic physician, how I explain to my clients and patients, I'm telling that the same has to be applied to each healing modalities, what it is, how it works, how it
Mhm.
has effect on my body. So when you know that, when you have the maximum information, you will be in a better position to utilize that, or come to a decision as to which would be working best for me in what scenario. So this is again,
Mhm.
one form of information, one form of education to the patient, making them aware the benefits, the limitations, of the science, and at the same time, the benefits and the limitations for that individual. So, yes, I mean, like, as I said, each and every healing modalities or science has their pros and cons, has their benefits, has their limitations. Understanding them in
Mhm.
detail and then, implementing them or incorporating them would be more beneficial in terms of health, in terms of,
Mhm.
planning ahead, in terms of longevity. I mean, like whatever you want, it will be more beneficial. That is what I would advise to
Got it.
all the audience out there.
So yeah, I hope we learned a lot of things about Ayurveda, but also about the strength and weaknesses of both medicine streams, right? And with that, guys, if you want to talk to any of our doctors, both of their links will be in the description. Whoever is your favorite doctor, just talk to them, right? If you want to talk to Dr. Swadeep or Dr. Poonam, both LinkedIn link will hopefully will be in the description. If you guys are okay with it, and my audience can
Perfect.
reach out to you,
Perfect. No issues.
right?
I
Would
would say
love.
for any for any medical condition, they should talk to Dr. Poonam. For any non-medical advisory, they can always, and that is a major part of medical treatment. That is non-medical advisory.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they can.
I would add, not only for medical, even if you want to, sort yourself in terms of in your terms of diet, you want to preventive. Even, it is not only regarding if
Mhm.
you have any health issues, you need to reach out to the
Well,
doctor. Even if you want to have a healthy life, healthy mindset, healthy life, you
Mhm.
want to have a longevity, good immunity, wherein we can work out with your diet, lifestyle, seeing where your work going wrong, and in compliance with your environment, with your work environment, with the environment you're staying in, we can work out something which will be, helpful as a preventive medication.
Mhm.
So not only for medical, but also for wellness, yes, you can reach out.
Got it. So with that, guys, I hope this was a fun episode and educating one, of course. And with that, this is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for staying this long. And yes, be open, stay curious, and question everything so that you will find your answers eventually.
and I would also like
Yeah.
to say be informed.
Yes.
Yes, be informed. That's the last thing to do, right? Before taking any decision, that is to be informed and take informed decisions. So thank you so much, both of you, for being here and taking your time out of the day. And hopefully we can have another conversation, right, revolving the same thing in the future soon. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ganesh. It was wonderful, really connecting to you, Dr. Poonam.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, Ganesh.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. Before we go, a quick shout out to Ringtree, the business phone system that's all about making you sound like a pro. No hardware, no fuss, just custom greetings, call routing, and even an AI receptionist to handle your calls. And don't forget, as a Sapient listener, you can save 25% of your first month. Just head to ringtree.io and use promo code Sapient at checkout. That's ringtree.io, promo code Sapient. Don't let your personal phone do all the heavy lifting. Switch to Ringtree today. See you next time.